Good afternoon, everybody. I'm actually up here with Allison. My name is Keisha Smith. I am an investment advisor rep with Associates Insurance Services. I've had the pleasure of working with Allison for the past year that she's been in Columbus, and she's extremely smart, so hopefully you guys have pencils and papers and take some really good notes.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I joked with my table, I'm extremely smart because I left New York and came to Columbus. We're going to do this informally. Can you hear in the back? Okay. So I'm happy to be here. I work with Keisha. I have the pleasure of working with Keisha. My role at Nationwide is a director in the Advanced Consulting Group. We're a consulting group. I work with financial advisors, and I help them with their cases. I travel around the country and I train financial advisors, and I also work on Nationwide's Your Business, Your Legacy program, which is what we're going to be speaking about today. And I've had the pleasure of working with Keisha on a few of her business cases. The Your Business, Your Legacy program is focused on three things: protection, succession, and retirement. And we'll share with you some of that wisdom, what we look at when we look at business owners' cases today. Okay.
Let me grab that one, the mic.
Sorry.
So we're going to kind of do this in an informal way to say the most common mistakes or questions that we get from business owners that they may or may not think of, and then to save time, we'll make ourselves available afterward if you want to come up and ask personal questions. So let's start off by addressing some protection issues. So Allison, what are some unique risks facing business owners today?
Okay. All right, so I do have a script. I tend to forget if I don't have things memorized, so that's what I'll be looking at. All right, so a good financial advisor is going to help business owners identify risks to their business and help them determine what to do to protect themselves from those risks. That's the first element of the program, protection. As far as unique risks facing business owners today, you can open the newspaper, and these two risks seem to appear almost every day, weekly, monthly. I'll give you a hint, one of those risks. What does Home Depot, and you can yell it out if you know, Marriott, Under Armour, Uber, and Equifax, that's the big one, have in common? Data security, I heard, yes. Cybersecurity breaches. Okay. The Equifax breach was especially egregious, if you remember that. Hackers stole the personal information, names, social security numbers, addresses, birth dates of 147.7 million Americans. That was half the population. That obviously negatively impacts those individuals who've had their data compromised, but the fallout at Equifax was equally pretty bad. The CEO retired shortly thereafter, and they ended up spending $200 million on cybersecurity efforts, including hiring a chief information security officer. So if you're a business owner, how many of you use the internet and you collect customers' personal information? What are you doing to protect that information? So cybersecurity is a major risk today. And how do you go about protecting yourself from a data breach or being hacked? Have you heard of the Ohio Data Protection Act? Okay. That is a unique law in Ohio that will provide business owners with a defense if they are ever sued after a security breach. Doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to win the case, but you will have an affirmative defense if you've implemented a cybersecurity program that meets the requirements of the Ohio Data Protection Act. An IT consultant can probably help you out with that. If you have an in-house IT department, if you're large enough to have one, hopefully those folks are aware of this law. Cyber insurance is a unique product that can help protect against these risks. It covers a business's liability for a data breach involving customer sensitive information. Nationwide's policy covers the expenses of notification. You have to notify those people who've been affected within 45 days of the breach. If more than 1,000 people are affected, you have to notify all the major credit bureaus. Our policy will provide creditor monitoring services for those affected. We set up a call center for those affected to call in and get information. A forensic IT service team determines the nature and extent of the breach. There's also a PR, public relations firm, that will come in and assist and assess any type of efforts needed to rebuild the reputation of your business and any associated legal expenses. So all of those IT consultants, having an IT department, virus protection, maybe cyber insurance, all of those things are potential protections for the risk of cybersecurity. And the other risk that's facing business owners today, major, okay, what do John Conyers, Steve Wynn, Mario Batali, Les Moonves, Morgan Spurlock, and Harvey Weinstein, big one, have in common? They've all been accused of sexual misconduct, and they're all business owners or employers. In the employment context, we've seen a rise in sexual harassment lawsuits. In order to sue for sexual harassment, workers file claims with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC. They can also file complaints at the state level as well. The EEOC has seen a 50% increase year over year between 2017 and 2018 in sexual harassment filings. And they've recovered nearly $70 million for the victims of sexual harassment. Okay. California passed a law in October regarding the composition of public company boards. Have you heard of that law yet? Are you familiar with that? Some people are shaking their heads. Do you remember what it said? It must include at least one woman by the end of 2019. So any public company that's organized in California must have at least one woman on its board by the end of 2019. Those numbers go up depending on the size of the board, and there are fines for non-compliance. Now, Ohio does not have a similar law, but Ohio does have some things called fair employment laws. Put that in quotes, fair employment laws. Okay, are you a business with 3 or more employees? If so, then Ohio's fair employment laws apply to you. You can check out online what those are. The Fair Employment Guide for Business Owners is produced by the Attorney General's website. It's called the Fair Employment Guide for Business Owners, and it contains best practices for business owners for interviews, harassment complaints, harassment going on in the workplace, not necessarily by the business owner, retaliation, disabilities, pregnancy, and religion. Okay, so how have you protected your business against the risk of employee lawsuits? Do you have an employee handbook, preferably one that was prepared by an attorney? Do you have an HR department or an employment law attorney on staff? There is a product, an insurance product called Employment Practices Liability Insurance. EPLI, Employment Practices Liability Insurance. Most major, I'd say almost all major corporations will have something like this. It insures business owners against claims of wrongful discrimination, wrongful termination, harassment, and others like failure to promote. Okay? Nationwide's product is unique in that it comes with a free legal advice from Jackson Lewis. That's a very well-known employment law firm. an 800 number where if you're a policy owner, you can call that law firm and get some advice and run a particular situation by the attorneys at Jackson Lewis. And it also, our policy offers a workplace risk solutions website with sample forms and policies, checklists, and web-based training. So another risk to business owners is lawsuits from employees. How you choose to protect yourself from that risk will be determined by you and your advisors.
I told you she was super smart. She knows all this stuff I don't. So let's talk about the second aspect of your business, your legacy, which is where I get involved as a financial advisor, which is succession. So what does succession mean to you?
Okay. All right, so we've covered protection. Now we're looking at succession. Succession means, to me, what happens to your business when you are no longer able to run it? Who will succeed you in ownership? Succession. With a single business owner, one person running a business, the answer might be no one. The business may close down. And there are three events when this question becomes relevant to a business owner. Who will succeed me? Retirement, disability, and premature death. So with a single business, there might not be anyone to succeed the business owner, and the business would close down after retirement, a disability, or premature death. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what the business owner wanted. But if the intent was to continue the business, a plan should be put in place so that can happen. The solution normally with a single owner is normally found within key employees, maybe even a competitor, where you pick an employee or employees who are able to, you think, run and manage the business in your absence. We put in place an agreement between you and those employees or a competitor, whoever you find. It's called a buy-sell agreement, one-way buy-sell, or a key person buy-sell. And again, you don't have to do it, but if it is your intent that your business continue, it is a good way to guarantee, although we can't guarantee 100%, but it's a good way to help ensure that your business will continue to run after you're no longer able to run it. With multiple owner businesses, how many of you are single owner businesses? A little less than half, it looks like. So with multiple owner businesses, more than one business, the answer to the question, what happens to your business when you're no longer able to run it, is found in a legal document. It's your business's governing document. You know, the thing that some attorney drew up for you the first week of business, you threw in a file cabinet and it's got dust on it. Or you wrote on LegalZoom and never really looked at it again. Yeah, that's important. Really, really important. Because that's going to dictate what happens to your business interest at your retirement, disability, or death. Or it doesn't. And then who knows what is going to happen. Normally, what we want to see happen when we have multiple business owners, and one of them is departing, is that the other business owners step up to purchase the departing owner's interest. That keeps unwanted people, a lot of family members often, out of the business, and the people with the experience to run it, running the business. This is a buy-sell agreement. It's not called a one-way buy-sell because there's more than one obligation to buy and sell. It's between multiple business owners, and we wanted to say that a remaining business owner will purchase the interest of a departing business owner at a predetermined price, retirement, disability, or death at a predetermined time. Okay. When it comes to buy-sell agreements, depending on the value of your business, you might want to do some funding. And here's where I have a lot of expertise in Keisha, placing different insurance products to help insure against those potential events. Life insurance obviously is one. There's a product out there called disability buyout insurance, DBO, long-term care insurance, or just having some type of fund, a savings fund of some sort, a sinking fund we call it, to be available to buy out a departing owner. So that's a little bit about succession.
And there's a couple of them here that I've done, which is kind of our next step here. When we talk about succession planning and retirement planning, there was also a program out there called Your Land, Your Legacy for those that are in the ag business. And if you think about it this way, we had a lot of farmers out there, and you want to keep it generational, right? And a lot of times when we start a business, we want to keep it generational. But what happens when the children don't want it? Or what happens if you do have your best friend, you've been running this business for 20, 30 years, that best friend got divorced and that ex-spouse is trying to stake claim to the business. So that's another important reason why you want to make sure that you have your business evaluated, and we offer a wonderful program to do that. But to segue into that is we want to talk about some key mistakes that we see business owners make. So Allison, what are some mistakes you see business owners making when it comes to succession issues?
Ever see the show Shark Tank? Hi, sharks. My name's Allison. I have a cupcake business in Pickerington, and I'm here to offer you 10% of my business for $26 million.
It's a hell of a cupcake.
Mr. Wonderful goes, it's one heck of a cupcake, Keisha said. Mr. Wonderful goes will tell me, what were your sales last year? $15,000. You're dead to me. So one of the biggest mistakes is business owners don't have an idea, a realistic idea, of the value of their business. And this can negatively implicate business planning and personal planning. How do you get the value or a realistic value of your business? There are many firms out there. Is anyone here from a valuation firm, values businesses? Woohoo! What's your name and business?
Darlene Kuznick with ERA Real Solutions. I'm a member of the OBBA, which is the Ohio Business Brokers Association, as well as the Columbus Board of Realtors for commercial real estate, and team members that can help with evaluation on real estate or businesses.
Great. So Darlene's company, and what was it called, Darlene?
ERA Real Solutions.
Here we go.
Is Ben still here with does HBK?
Ben at HBK?
in the house? Are they still here? Mark Hoyt, is that right? You don't do business valuations? Okay. There's a couple of CPA firms that do business valuations that are part of the chamber here.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say next. So a business valuation firm is obviously competent to do business valuations. Certain CPAs, certified public accountants, can. Not all CPAs can, only those with certain credentials, like ABV, accredited in business valuation. Those folks are the ones who can give you a good, realistic valuation of your business, short of going out and getting an offer to buy your business. So knowing how important valuation is to a number of business planning issues and personal planning issues, part of Your Business or Your Legacy program at Nationwide is that we offer a complimentary, informal, keyword, informal valuation of businesses. We're not in the business of valuing businesses like Darlene is, but we understand a little bit about what goes into a business valuation. There's 3 different approaches to valuing a business: an asset-based approach, an income-based approach, and a market-based approach. So what we do is we ask for the business financials, a balance sheet, and 3 years of tax returns, and we plug it into our formulas, and it will come up with different values of your business: a book value, a capitalization of income value, a discounted cash flow method. We're not saying this is what a buyer is going to necessarily give you, but it is grounded in the financials of your business, and will give you an idea, a good starting place to start the discussion. Do we need to hire a professional appraisal for this? So that's part of our program, because one of the biggest mistakes we see is business owners not really knowing and grasping the value of their businesses.
I did want to mention, we will help you with appraising and getting an idea for your commercial real estate, but as far as the business itself evaluation, through OBBA, we have groups like, there's different companies out there that we partner with to actually do the company itself evaluation. we help with the commercial real estate part of it.
So many businesses own the real estate that they operate on, so your company will do the commercial real estate valuation. Okay, thank you for clarifying. So the other mistake I see has to deal with family businesses. How many of you are family businesses? Got 1, 2. Not many. Maybe 5 or 10 of you. Family business to me means a family member owns the business and other family members work in the business. They're some of the most successful businesses out there today are family owned, or they started the Walton family and Marriott and the Koch brothers. So typically we see mom or dad running the business, and they have 3 kids. 1 kid works in the business, the others want nothing to do with the business. Okay, so what's the succession plan for this business? Normally, they just leave the business interest to a spouse, even if the spouse has nothing to do with that business. This then puts a strain on the relationship between the child and the business and mom or dad who own the business. You know, it's like we're kids again and mom and dad control the piggy bank. It's not a great situation to be in and can result in a lot of conflict. Compounding this situation, if they don't leave it to a spouse who has nothing to do with the business while a child's trying to run the business, mom and dad's estate plan normally leaves it to all the children equally. Yep. So the one child who's passionate about whatever the business does has to deal with siblings who have unresolved issues because Johnny got the better bedroom and Sally was the favored child. Now they're running a business together because the parents want it to be fair. A lot of times the parents, they just don't know what to do. They think it's the right thing to do, and equal is not the same as equitable. So what we would recommend in that situation is we recommend something inheritance equalization, a very simple concept. Give the business to the child in the business and give other assets, maybe not of equal value, but equivalent value to the children out of the business. And that can prevent a lot of disharmony and potentially even the business suffering. A properly drafted buy-sell agreement, you know, those documents you all have, and your estate plan. If you're a family business, we need to look at wills and trusts and things like that, can help a succession plan go right.
And I'll just re-emphasize the importance of having that reviewed maybe every 5 years at most. One example is I had a farmer. They were 77 and they were kind of looking at an exit strategy that none of the children wanted to take over. And when we looked at the trust, so if they're 77, these children range from the late 40s into mid-50s. And the trust hadn't been drafted or revisited since the youngest child was 6. So we cannot stress enough how you need to blow the dust off of those things and get them reviewed. All right, so let's talk about the final part of your business, your legacy program, which is retirement, which I absolutely love. To me, it seems the business owners that I work with, they think that their business is their retirement plan. So what's a mistake or common things that you see with that?
I see that a lot, yes. Business owners relying solely or thinking they're going to rely solely on their business as their retirement plan. When they're ready to retire, whenever that is, they'll sell their business and that'll be it. They'll have enough money for the rest of their lives. And this goes back, again, to knowing the value of your business, right? It's not a problem if you get to sell your business for 10 times what you thought it was worth, but more often than not, it's a Shark Tank type situation, or the market conditions have not been in your favor and you can't get enough, or you're not getting what you want or need. Neither of these situations is good for the retirement of a business owner. And let me just say, some business owners don't ever plan on retiring, and that's fine too. But for those, and what retirement looks like to every business owner is different. Some want to retire at 50. Some want to never really retire but kind of stay active. In any event, whatever retirement looks like for you, there's a financial plan that can make that a reality. So a good financial advisor will know what retirement looks like for each business owner that he or she works with. So the answer to this problem, using the business as a retirement plan, is pretty simple. Accumulate assets outside of the business. Yes, I know you get the most ROI, return on investment, by putting every last penny back into your business, but that's also incredibly risky. Modern portfolio theory likes asset diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So the solution can be something simple like an IRA, an individual retirement arrangement, a 401k potentially offered by your business. And those options are also available for those of you in the room who said that you are solo business owners. You could do a solo 401k or a SEP IRA. There are retirement plans regardless of the size or the number of owners or employees. But the point I would like to make is don't solely rely on your business for your retirement plan. It is not a retirement plan, it is a business. It's important to accumulate assets outside of the business. We have a tool as part of the Your Business, Your Legacy program called My Interactive Retirement Planner. If you input some of your current information in, you can discuss, it'll plop back out some information about likely income that you currently have for yourself in retirement versus income that you probably need in retirement. Assess what the gap might be, and then you work with an advisor to make those savings and that retirement income a reality. And then the last thing I'll point out about retirement, health savings accounts. How many of you have HSAs? Decent amount, almost half I'd say. I do, and I max it out, and I don't touch it. I'm not a business owner. But the point is that HSAs can be an additional retirement account for you in the future. Most business owners are high income earners, so you don't have a need to touch that money. But what you're essentially doing, or what I'm doing and what business owners or whoever can do, is accumulate money in their HSA. You can only contribute about $3,500 if you're single and $7,000 if you're married, but it's tax efficient contribution, tax deductible. It grows free, tax free, just like an IRA or a 401k. You can invest the money in an HSA. I have half of my HSA in mutual funds and half in a regular savings account, like a balanced, kind of conservative investment strategy because I don't love the volatility in the markets right now. So you can invest the money that you put in your HSA, and then when you take the money out, and I plan on taking it out in my later years for health and medical expenses, it's tax-free. So that can be another part of your retirement plan. It's part of my retirement plan. The point again being accumulate assets outside of your business for retirement.
Awesome. So let's wrap up and summarize your business, your legacy. Protection, cybersecurity risk, employee lawsuit risk is very important. And if you had visited us at the round table back here, Dave Rosen gave an excellent discussion about cybersecurity risk as well too. Succession planning, what happens to a business after an owner's retirement, whether they're forced out by medical or premature death or disability. And then lastly, the third leg of this is retirement. So not relying solely on your business for retirement. And like she said before, putting all your eggs in one basket. And what we've seen in recent times is that when a business owner wants to retire, they get their business evaluated when they want to retire. So I want to roll out June 1st, so I'm going to call a financial advisor on May 1st. And so we just say you need more planning time for that. And then what happens if we have another economic situation such as 2008, 2009, and if you're in a very niche market, what happens if the market value of your business declines dramatically? That could really blow up your retirement plan as well too. So not solely relying on your business for the retirement. So think about traditional retirement accounts, IRAs. For those in here that did an extension for the April 15th filing, you have until October 15th to actually defer into your retirement plan account. So for those of us that are small business owners that have a SEP IRA, you can actually have up to October 15th to contribute for last year. but you would have had to file an extension, so I'll just put that plug in. And then insurance-based income solutions as well as HSAs will provide a great asset allocation for the business owner in retirement. So we do want to be respectful of everyone's time, so we'll kind of hang out a little bit after if you have any questions that you guys want to address.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.